Hello, everyone,
My man.
and welcome to the Real Racquetball Show, game number 30 of the Real Racquetball Show. Maurice, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Mike. How about yourself tonight?
Doing all right. I am glad to be home. It was a long month of traveling to different events and conferences and meetings and such, but made it through just fine, and glad to be home for a little while.
Good.
So we've got a really interesting show. It's a little different. We have a lot of different topics. We're going to get to a list of questions that I know were sent in to you specifically. So we'll get to those here near the end of it. But before that, got a lot of just little topics we wanted to chat about, some questions that people were asking about, some things that happened recently. So we want to invite everybody to please share the feed, like it, send it out, get your friends to watch it. It's good information. It answers some of the questions that people are asking on social media and such. The idea is we want to get as much feedback as we possibly can. So if you're watching, just drop your name, ask a question, say hi. We really appreciate everybody watching the show. So let's just jump right in. First thing we've mentioned several times is the Real Racquetball Champion. We haven't had one in a little while, but we are going to get that back on track this month. We've been so busy with everything going on with the Open and 3-wall ball and all the different things, it just hasn't really worked out well. So the next show on the 15th, we'll have a Real Racquetball Champion to announce.
Let's go.
So that's really cool. Excited about that. So a lot of people doing a lot of great things in the sport, and we want to make sure we're recognizing those individuals that are putting in all that effort and doing all that work. We also want to be sure everyone mark your calendars for national doubles. We are setting up the full slate of championships for 2022, and the first one on the calendar, of course, is national doubles. It's February 2nd through the 6th in Tempe, Arizona. And I think I mentioned last time, but I'm not sure. But we did a survey after the national doubles, the last one we were able to hold, and asked people if they wanted us to move that event around, or if they liked going to Tempe. And I think 95% of all of the responses said leave it there, keep it in Tempe. And for us in the Midwest, there's not a better place to go than Arizona in February. So, February 2nd through the 6th, mark your calendar. We're building the site right now. We had some challenges with getting the hotel information, but we've got all that situated. So the site will be up any day now, and you'll be able to start registering and get all of your logistics worked out. So
we did have Mike, we did have a question. Janice asked us, was it all age? National doubles is for everybody, whether you're as old as myself, which is way up there, or whether you're as young as whoever. If it's one of the best tournaments I can be at, if I for the survey, I'm perfectly fine with being in Tempe, Arizona. I think ASU is a beautiful campus. That's where I knew I get to mess with Mike and Connor and Renee and everybody. So y'all already know what's about to happen in February. But no, Janice, if you're able to make it, please, we'd love to have you out. And if you see us, feel free to come up and talk to us.
Absolutely.
Any interaction with anybody, whether member or not, if you're a racquetball player, we welcome anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. All ages, it's all doubles. The only singles that is played at national doubles, do you know what that event is? The only singles event in national doubles? There's only one.
Team qualifier, right?
Team qualifier, absolutely. So
you gotta make me play 2 divisions.
So everybody come out and watch. It's you get to see all the best of the best in American players competing for Team USA. So come out and watch them compete. It is some really intense matches. There's a lot on the line. So it's the first of 2 qualifiers for Team USA. So come out and see us. I'm going to do something I've myself. I had a few hats made, USA Racquetball hats, if you can see that.
Yeah.
Really cool hat, adjustable back on it. It's not the trucker style. It's a nice hats, giving away. So I'm going to give away one of those hats to one of our spectators, and those that are watching live are the only ones that get to qualify for it. And all you have to do is answer the trivia question in the comment section. And the first one to answer that I will ship you this hat completely free of charge. You can just email me your address and I will send it to you. But the question is, what you want to answer is, what year was the AARA established? What year did it become an organization established as an official organization? Okay. And I won't give you any hints as to where you can find that, but I'll bet it's somewhere on the USA Racquetball website. Okay. Nope. Sorry, Ron. Nope. Norm, missed it by a couple.
No.
Vic, no.
I love this. We should do this more often.
Yep. Vic missed it by a couple. Nora, nope. Sorry. Look, wait, there's one. David Staub nailed it.
Yeah.
David Staub got it. Congratulations, David. I will mail you a hat. So I believe I have your address, but you can send it to me in a different format or something. But it was established on October 17th. We just had the birthday. October 17th, 1979.
Wow.
What year were you born, Maurice?
93.
Okay, wow. Your birthday was way older than you.
Yeah. 93.
And David said he joined in 1979. So how about them apples?
Nah, I wouldn't.
Yeah. Okay, well, it was something closer to your time. Maurice or anyone else, do you might want to take a guess? When did the name change to USRA, which was the United States Racquetball Association? It changed its name in 1997, January 1st, 1997. It changed to the USRA. And it was only the USRA for a few years. In 2004, it changed to USAR, United States of America Racquetball Association.
I started.
So interesting.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for history, the USA Racquetball website has a ton of history on it. Jim Easterling and his wife did an enormous amount of work to put together all of the magazines and information. There is a ton of history on the USA Racquetball website. So go check it out. There's some fun stuff. And David, congratulations. Everybody else, thank you for putting your guesses in there. That's pretty cool. A lot of great guesses.
Yep.
And most of them were just really close. They just missed it by a little bit. Yep. So pretty cool. I was still in high school at that time.
Huh?
But we're going to skip that because I don't.
We talk about that in February. Yeah, we. Wow.
Okay, let's jump right to the three-wall ball. I hope a lot of you got a chance to go out and enjoy the three-wall ball, and if you didn't, hopefully you watched some of the streaming. There were a lot of phenomenal matches. This was my third year out there, and I just can't tell you how much I love that event. It is so much fun. The weather was great. It was 70s, got down to 50s at night. So it was just beautiful weather. It was kind of chilly in the morning, which for me, I like it out there when it's chilly like that.
No.
Great finals matches, the matches all the way along, all the age divisions. The women's pro doubles was a phenomenal match. It was really fun to watch. So keep that in mind for next year. It's well worth the trip out to Vegas. It's a neat environment, and it was so nice to have it back to its normal activity. It wasn't closed up with COVID. It was just bleachers were full. People were there screaming and yelling and excited about it. A lot of handball players. It was really cool how many handball players were out there. The paddleball divisions were phenomenal to watch. I think Alvaro and Daniel, I believe they won the paddleball. Don't think they won the racquetball division though.
Yeah, they won.
Did they win the finals? It was a lot of fun. It was so neat event. Coulter and his team, they do a phenomenal job putting that together. It's such a neat event. The only thing that was interesting this year, USA Racquetball for this first time, Mike gave us an opportunity, which thank you very much. We really appreciate the opportunity to set up a tent and meet and greet players and people. And we had so many people come by our tent and meet with myself. Renee and Connor were out there for a little while, and they got a chance to meet with a lot of the players and kind of experience what the outdoor environment was like. But we set up a nice tent. We bought it about a year ago, so we'd only used it a couple times at outdoor events. It was really neat to do. But on Friday night, they had what I believe is a microburst that just blew up the tents, the frames. There were 2 tents on both sides of us, destroyed those also. On the other side of the tournament desk's tent, which didn't really seem to get hurt at all. It was perfectly fine. But on the other side, it blew up a bunch of tents. The Prokinetics lost about half of their tent. There was a lot of private tents. So it was really interesting, but it was very selective. Tent over had a little stand with some business cards in it. It was completely untouched. So how does it broke the legs off of our tent? And these were thick aluminum legs on this thing.
Yeah.
Broke them off, but
business cards untouched.
15 feet away, it was fine.
Hilarious.
Interesting stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it's just this, it's Vegas.
Yeah.
Anything can happen in Vegas.
I spoke to Couture a couple days after the event, wish him a successful event, or no, told him successful because I caught the streams back here. And so message back and forth. And I told him I'm going to come out next year for sure. I already making plans to come out. It looks to be so inviting and exciting because it's so different at the same time.
Yeah.
And so whether or not I'm able to drag him out there with me, I know he's in the chat. So what's up, Mike? Whether I drag him out there, drag you out there, or somebody come go out there and play with me. I'm not gonna look bad. I need somebody to carry me out there. But no, I'm looking forward to doing it. Exposed or seeing different styles of the same sport that you love being played, and everyone be able to enjoy it. Even paddleball. I've never played paddleball a day in my life, but just you could tell how even from indoor to outdoor, from even outdoor to paddleball outdoor, where the ball was doing things completely different depending on how you were conducting yourself. It was great. I just want to be out there and see if we can have some fun.
Yeah, well, it'd be hard not to. It's just such a fun environment out there, and being right across the street from the hotel and the casino, great restaurants and bars, and the live music most of the week. So it's just a much more relaxing environment. But hopefully, you get to make it out next year. We'll have some fun. So really appreciate all the work they put in, and it's a lot of work. It takes a whole team of people to put that on. I know, and Mike works his butt off and his whole team. So really appreciate you doing that. It's for everybody. Plan on it next year. It's worth the trip. All right, so let's move on to the next topic. Not necessarily one of our favorites. It was a really hard choice. The IRF World Junior Championships and the Adult Championships coming up in about a month. They leave in, I think, 3 weeks or so.
Yeah.
As you probably saw the announcements, there's a couple announcements came out. We sent an email out, USA Racquetball did, announcing that we will not be sending an official junior team this year to the really tough choice. We talked to parents, athletes, the board debated it for a long time, the coaches, the IRF, and in the end, it decided it just wasn't a good idea for USA Racquetball to send a team. Doesn't mean they can't compete. The athletes are welcome to go, and as a governing body, we will enter them in the event. It has to go through USA Racquetball, so we will enter them in the event. We just can't send an official team. Part of the reasoning for that is that there's a 2-week quarantine coming back into the United States if you test positive, and you have to take a test within 24 hours of returning to the U.S. So you've got to find a way to get tested there which is my guess is going to be a little bit of a challenge all on its own. But if you were to test positive, they basically quarantine you for 2 weeks on top of the time you've been there already. So you theoretically could be out of the country for a month.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people financially and just can't miss that much work. So the risk and the challenge, they raised the risk level from a level 3 to a level 4, which is a do not travel. I've heard conflicting things about what's going on there. I've heard that it's really not as bad as they're making it out to be. We can only go by the official websites, the travel sites, and the sites that dictate what those levels are. So it was a tough decision. I really feel horrible for the juniors not getting to go there and compete. As you can imagine, they worked their tails off to make the team, and then have COVID still putting them in a bad spot. It's just an awful situation.
Yeah.
And I did get a couple questions once that announcement went out about why didn't we do the same thing with the adult qualifier? Well, it's a little bit of a different situation. Plus, there's an added level to it. The championship is the only qualifier for the World Games in Birmingham next year. So if the U.S. doesn't send a team, it means no American athletes will compete at all. They won't qualify. So we'll be holding the World Games in Birmingham next year and would not be able to offer any adult athletes into it, American athletes. So you probably already saw, I'm sure you saw the announcement that Rocky had to be a terribly difficult decision for him to decide not to compete this year in the World Game and the championships. It's tough. You can imagine getting stuck there for 4 weeks financially and missing your family and it's a tough decision to make. I respect Rocky and anybody else that makes that decision or has struggled with that choice at all. It's tough. And I know Rocky and I've talked about a lot that he puts a lot of pride into playing for USA Racquetball or for USA, and to not be able to go, it's a no-win situation. We've got to get COVID done and out of here, and so we can get everything back to normal, because these are hurting a lot of people that have been stuck in this for a long time, and there's a lot of really tough decisions they're making. So at this point, the adult team is still going. So we're going to support them with everything we can and hope that everybody makes it back safe and competes well. So if you've got any questions, send me what you have. It's a no-win situation. If we send people and they get stuck there for a month, we're responsible. If we don't send them, then it's just awful, because we've made a decision not to send the team, and those athletes have worked hard to compete at this level, and it's a shame. So it's an awful thing. We're going to keep on top of it. A lot of people, like I say, a lot of the parents decided they weren't going to the juniors. They weren't taking their athletes before we ever made that announcement. They just weren't sending them. You can imagine, as a parent, do you send your kid into that? It's tough. It's a hard decision. Okay. Better things, better news. We're going to add a new section to this show. Each episode, we're going to do we're going to call the local event spotlight. We're going to try and highlight a couple things going on in local events across the country. And we got a couple of them we're going to go through, and then I'm going to list off some really good information that I came across doing some research for this. Okay. But the sad part, anybody that's around Mississippi State University, if you know where that is in Mississippi, give them a call, send them an email, and directly to the Joe Frank Sanderson Center. It's where their athletic center is, their community center there. Apparently they have 8 courts, and we saw an article that they're looking to take out, I believe, 5 of them. So if you're in the area and they'll give you access to those courts, go in and talk to them. Let them know that racquetball is not a dying sport. We are doing everything we can to make it grow, and we think there's a lot of good, positive things coming on the horizon. So if you're in that area, please go by and help them hang on to those courts. They're vital.
Speaking of them, the Mississippi Racquetball Association and the Louisiana State Association just ran a tournament this past weekend. Tier 4. I think it's the third one that I've heard of that I've been to, and they've upped it was an IRT Tier 4. Yeah, they've always been Tier 5. Fantastic tournaments. Those guys are some of the most friendly, welcoming group of players that I've ever met. They've treated me like one of their own, and even like family to this day, as much as I can. It's hopefully they didn't hear about it, so they can go down there and talk to them, because that would be a facility that they would love to be able to use. Because Mississippi, unfortunately, has been taking out courts. David Grays and Mark Thompson, if y'all know them, reach out to them, let them know, please. Let's save these courts.
We've got a couple of groups working on different court activities, so we've alerted them of this, and we're going to do some investigation, see if there's anything we can do to help. A lot of times it's all about the local. It's got to get the local folks have got to use those courts and get on them and make them busy. And I don't know what access Mississippi State will let them students on to the facility to use those courts. I'm not familiar with that enough yet. Anybody that knows that, please let me know. But anything we can do to help anybody down there, that if there's something I can do, I'm happy to, if it means my coming down and sitting down with the athletic directors or somebody would help out, I will be on a plane or a train or drive myself there. So anything we can do. Some of the other things are really cool. Clarksville, Tennessee. Someone sent us this, the racquetball clinics every Thursday evening. If you want to learn how to play racquetball and you're in the Clarksville, Tennessee area, look up James Kirchner. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. And he'll get you into a clinic and teach you how to play some racquetball, because that's what's going to grow racquetball, is teaching people how to play. Get them on the court. Teach somebody new. Grab somebody to go play. But we really applaud that. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. But I was looking up some of the local events. I just wanted to see, I track very regularly how many local events, local tournaments are being played. And in just the next couple weeks, I'm going to read off just a few of these. Arizona Open, IRT, LPRT Tier 1 event. Got 180 people already entered in that tournament. It's the 11th through the 14th. That one's playing in Tempe. St. Louis has an open. Concord, North Carolina. Colorado doubles. Minnesota State doubles. The Nashville, Tennessee has a tournament coming up the 13th and 14th. Salem Open in New Hampshire. Glass Court's got a turkey shootout. It's an LPRT event coming up the 18th through the 21st. Sarasota's got a IRT Tier 1 event coming up the 18th through the 21st. Billingham, Washington, Stockton, California, Merced, California, San Antonio, Texas, Louisiana. I mean, these are just in the next couple of weeks. I looked through and found 20 tournaments or events happening in the next 3 weeks across the country. And that wasn't all of them. There are more than that. So there are a lot of good events coming up around the country. So look on the R2 site and find a local event and go watch some racquetball, go play some racquetball. Things are opening up. So a lot of people have been waiting for a long time to get some racquetball tournaments going. And boy, they are all across the country right now.
Yeah, I'm glad tournaments are starting. I mean, there was that period where there was just nothing.
Everything was, I spent so much time just changing dates and canceling events and moving events for people that they were trying.
Yeah.
They just couldn't hold them. Well, it looks like most of them across the country are really filling up. I'm excited to see that one in Arizona. It's got 180 people in it already, and that's pretty cool.
That's pretty good.
Because it's an IRT and an LPRT event, so it's going to have all the pros out there. Really cool stuff.
Good thing I'm not a pro. Stay home.
You ought to be there.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. All right. Well, you'll be in Tempe for national doubles, so we'll get you there then.
We'll be in Tempe.
All right.
All right. So, Mike, we had a couple questions stemming from the U.S. Open. Obviously, it's in October. It was the 25th anniversary. A lot of questions being asked because USA Racquetball is going to be taking it over.
Yep.
Not going to ask you all of them, because of time. Few, obviously, you're not going to have some answers for. It just is what it is. It's too early. So let's see what we got. How much does it cost? I think you answered this on the last show, but how much does it cost again to keep the glass court at the Target Center?
Well, and to build it at the Target Center, that's the challenge of building the glass court, is the way it's stored in the Target Center. It's a really weird place. It takes an incredible amount of manpower to get it out of where it is and get it built. So there's a lot of expense in it. But the best estimate of all the labor costs and to build it and take it down and all the setup is about $60,000. Give or take, depending on what labor costs are. This year, the labor costs were a little higher just because of the shortage of labor. They had to hire a few extra people. So it's a challenge. If we were to move it somewhere, again, we still got to get it out of the storage in the Target Center, truck it to a place. So you're probably looking at another 20 grand on top of that if we were to move it somewhere. Now, the good news is over the next couple of years, we've got some big things we're working on that we think will make that significantly less. We think we're going to be able to move it much easier. They do have crates for it. They're stored there in Minneapolis. So we're looking at finding a much easier way to store it where you can use forklifts to do a lot of the heavy lifting. So we expect those costs to come down. How much, I'm not sure, and it'd be crazy or silly for me to try and estimate that at this point. But look for some really cool things coming in the next year or so that should make that more accessible.
Okay.
We're looking for ways to set. I'd love to find a place where you set that court up, leave it for a little while.
Okay.
And not set it up for a week, tear it down for a week. The cost is in the setup and tear down. So if we can set it up, leave it there for a while, how cool would that be? So, but we're working on some things.
All right. So is there a title sponsor? And is there a title sponsor? And if so, or if not, what's the cost to become a title sponsor?
There is not right now. And you probably heard Doug even talk about that for some time, that the agreement with United Healthcare expired after this last event. And we've been working for some time, for a year or so, on trying to find a new one. And it's difficult right now. Again, COVID's put a lot of companies in a really tough spot. A lot of them are looking for ways to generate revenue within their budget, and the budget's tight right now. So to put that much money behind a racquetball event, but we're looking to expand that reach a little bit, because we can now offer them not only the U.S. Open, but all the other championships, all the local events. We can do a lot of national advertising for them year round, as opposed to just during the U.S. Open. Your question about what the cost is: title sponsor for the U.S. Open is about $150,000 a sponsorship. So in the realm of athletic sponsorships, it's very little, but we've got to show great value in that to get someone contracted in there. And we've got several companies we've talked to that are interested in it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, once COVID kind of hit, they said, let's talk after a while. At that point, we thought it was going to be a few months. Now we're a year and a half into it, and it's starting to close up. So those conversations are starting to happen again. We expect that we will have one eventually.
Okay.
Those things take a lot of time to work, though. You don't just go ask somebody for $150,000 and get a check. It's a long conversation, and we're looking for a long-term partnership, much like the United Healthcare was. I mean, they were a great partner of the U.S. Open for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And the ones before that, there's Choice Hotels was for a while, and then there were a few years where there wasn't a sponsor at all. Mm-hmm. And we hope that doesn't happen again, but it may. It kind of depends on how things open up and how much money these companies have to offer. But we're working with several different companies very hard. So
speaking of that, is USA Racquetball's plan to still keep the U.S. Open in Minneapolis?
It is at this point, absolutely.
Okay.
Target Center is a great center, a lot of courts. It's one of the challenges. U.S. Open uses 32 courts for the U.S. Open. Not a lot of locations across the country where you have access to 30 courts and a center to put the glass court.
That's true.
It's just unfortunate. There's just not a lot of places that have them concentrated like Minneapolis does. So, and I know that Minneapolis is working. Their downtown it's going to come back. It's down right now, but it was a beautiful city, and I think they'll build it back. So at this point, yeah, we love the Target Center. People have gotten familiar with it. They like going there. Hopefully some of the restaurants will come back. So we're hopeful, but it'll depend a lot on what downtown Minneapolis does.
So then y'all still gonna charge people for watching pros?
If it stays the way it is, yes.
Okay.
We are looking at different ways to change that, though. My dream for the U.S. Open is I ultimately want I'd love to have a stadium where you could have 3,000 people in and $10 a ticket and have concession stands and things like they do at other sporting events, different types of things that would really work well for everybody to go watch it play, watch the pros play. As opposed to the environment there is now is great, and it doesn't hold a lot of people. The tickets are fairly expensive, but there's a lot of great benefit to them. If you add up the food and the drinks and those type of things, the ticket's not that bad. So, but I want to see 1,500, 2,000 people watching the pros play. That's my long-term goal. Is I'd love to change it around enough that we can get more of the amateurs in to watch those pros, and still have the number of courts so that we can expand the play. Whether we'll ever be able to change it from a one loss and out, I don't know. But those are the long-term goals that we spend a lot of time talking about and looking at solutions for.
All right.
How do we fix that? So a lot of work being done. We've been working on this for a couple of years. Since Doug announced that he was going to retire, we've been discussing what's our long-term goal. What do we do with this to make it more accessible? So I don't know.
So no, we're on time. Could probably do last question. According to the question, it says, why doesn't USA Racquetball sell, or why didn't USAR sell merchandise at the US Open? Did you all sell merchandise at the US Open? And if not, how come?
Good question. I like that one because we've been working on that also. I really think and believe for some time now that we should have what I call a portable store to bring USA Racquetball branded materials, hats, shirts, jackets, coats, all that kind of stuff, and have some whatever the event is, whether it's US Open, national doubles, singles, all those type of events should have the same thing. So our partnership with Nike, when we established that, that's one of the things we really wanted to do was partner with someone that could help us build a portable store setup that we could ship to Tempe and set up that would be simple. We could hang up and have some USA branded. We've just not done a real good job of branding USA Racquetball well. Everything should have the logo on it, and we should be much better at branding. So working towards that, the partnership that Connor negotiated up with Nike in that is to build up the store. So you will, in the fairly near future, start seeing a lot more product that has USA Racquetball branding on it, and also the event branding on it. And we want to put that on apparel and gear that is top notch. So we're working on that also. A lot of things we're working on. We just,
I lied. I got one more question for you.
Sure. Yeah, we got time.
You playing US Open together or no?
Are we playing US Open together?
You playing US Open together or no?
You think Troy's going to let you do that?
I didn't say.
You get dumping Troy for me? Come on.
First one is crap ton of events. All right. No, that's me and Troy thing. That's our thing.
Maybe like a sponsor doubles or something. How about that?
That's cool. If I can get you on the court, that's fine with me. That's fine. We're going to have, eventually, it's going to be a compilation of as many times I've ever asked you to play some form of racquetball with me. And your response is no, maybe, no, maybe. What do I got to do to get you on the court, Mike?
Well, I'll tell you what, if you come out to Vegas next year, that might work. We might be able to do that.
Vegas next year?
Yeah.
I say less.
Yeah.
Mark, I got notes right here.
That or we'll find something.
Mike, fantastic. That's in there. What's today?
I have to figure out what age division we could get into. We can't quite get into the century one yet. You're not old enough.
I mean, I know the event director, so I'm just saying he might be able to help out.
Yeah, well, probably not that much.
Well, no, yeah, we'll find something. Just get out there and have some fun. It's what it is. I know I'm not good at outdoor, but I just want to have some fun.
Yeah, well, you'll be a whole lot better at it than I am, so I'll let you carry.
Ooh, good luck.
But I tell you what, win, lose, or draw, we'll have some fun doing it.
Absolutely. But no, so that's where, even answer the questions even here. For anyone watching, if y'all ever have any questions, we will bring them on the show and ask. Our whole point of us doing the show is to spread racquetball and provide the information that USA Racquetball can provide, because our site, even being on the board, right? Our site's only but so far. Right. We can't be everywhere. And so if we don't know what's going on, or if there's something that we haven't answered, feel free to ask us. Like we say every show, we no problem answering the questions, whether it's directly or we bring them on the show. I have a lot more questions that we're going to be asking eventually. Totally fine with it. Please send them in. I love it. We love it.
Yeah. Really, really want to be able to provide the information that people are interested in. Because we can create the show and create the content, and it may not be exactly what everybody's looking for. So send those questions. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Love the comments. And I want to run through real quick and just shout out some of the people. Steve Hackman, appreciate you being on the show or on the feed. Who plays the left? That's funny.
Come on.
It's Maurice. He's going to play left and right, because I'm going to stand in the back and let him run around. Really. I know you've never seen me play, but I'm twice his age, so he's going to do all the running.
Well, all right. Guess cardio it is.
Let's see. Chad Wright, appreciate you watching the show. Dave, of course. We'll check your address and make sure I get your hat sent out to you. Joanne Pomadero, ex-board member, appreciate you being on the show. It's tough. And, Mike Coulter, of course, is watching the show. He's watching Maurice, make sure he's out to 3-wall ball next year. So, Jason, appreciate you guys watching. Jeff, Janice, Ron, a lot of great people watching. Norm, appreciate you watching the show. NMRA Prez, that must be Cindy. Is Cindy watching the show? Wow, another board member on there watching the show. Fantastic. Appreciate it. Really appreciate everybody coming on, making a comment, just saying hi. It's always neat. We love knowing that you're watching and that we're putting something on that you want to see. So, absolutely. Chad will make a section about that, and we've got a flyer specifically for it. So, hi, Cindy. Glad you're on there watching the show.
Thank you, Chad. I'll write that down.
Yeah, so that's good. And like I said, we've got that really neat flyer we had made specifically with that. So we'll put that up and kind of go through some of the things. It's that time. Racquetball's coming back. We talked about the events. We want everybody to get back and have help support racquetball, help us grow it.
All right.
Okay.
Joe.
Next, the next episode, Game 31, make a special note because it's November 15th. and it's a special day.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. November 15th is
Stop it.
Maurice's birthday.
Stop it.
So everybody watch the show.
Stop it.
There just might be something going on. So November 15th, game 31. It's Maurice Day.
Regular day. So
bring your birthday wishes, and we'll have cake or something. Also on the 15th, watch for the newsletter. I hope you're receiving the newsletter. If not, reach out. It's a great piece. It's got a lot of good information. If you're ever curious what's going on the board, there's a whole section about what's going on the board. A lot of different things. There's a section on rules. So check it out. They put a lot of work into it, and I'm really proud of what it's turned out to be. So be sure and check out the newsletter on the 15th. Like I say, if you're not receiving it, reach out. We will make sure that you get it. Let's see. Reserve a court. I talked about this a couple different times. So many clubs judge how busy their courts are by what their reservation book looks like. I know at the club that I've worked at for a long time, the managers, the owners looked at that reservation book to tell how busy the courts are. So if you're going to go play, just reserve the court. Jump on it and use it. Fill that book up. Overflow. Make them think they need more courts, because they do. But if the book isn't reserved, the court isn't reserved, they don't think anybody ever got onto it. So please reserve the court. Make sure they understand that everybody's enjoying the courts, and teach somebody new to play.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Ron asked a question. What area of the country are you guys in?
Atlanta.
And I'm just south of Kansas City. You can probably see from the things on my wall that Jayhawk and Chiefs, and the Chiefs have starting their game tonight here in 15 minutes, which I got to tell you, I wasn't going to, but I will, just because it came up. I gave up a ticket to the Monday Night Football game so I could be here with you guys.
Oh, look at Mike.
I've had a season ticket for 32 years, and Monday Night Football is one of the most exciting things to do in Arrowhead Stadium. But I am not there because I wanted to be here with y'all. So
Mike,
how about them apples? But when we're done, I'm going to go sit on my couch, grab a cold one, and watch the game. All right. Well, Maurice, this has been fun. Great questions. Appreciate everybody coming on. Steve, great job. Keep reserving those courts. Make sure everybody else does the same. We need to make those club owners understand that the courts are full, valuable, and to keep them.
Yep.
Any parting thoughts, Maurice?
Always
Next
fun,
time we get
everybody.
together.
Like, share the feed. Send your real racquetball nominations to C Shane at usaracquetball.com.
Yep.
Spam Mike with messages so he plays with me in Vegas. Other than that, teach someone racquetball, show someone racquetball, promote racquetball as much as y'all can. If you ever see me in person, feel free to come up. I have no issue with it. I love y'all. That's it for me.
And next time you see Maurice, you'll be a year older.
That's true, man. These grades are coming in. I'm telling you, these grades is coming.
All right.
All right, Mike. Have
a great one. Thanks, Maurice.
Good night,
Appreciate
everybody
watching. We'll see you soon.